President, I thank Under-Secretary General Rosemary DiCarlo for a valuable briefing. And I also thank the European Union Head of Delegation to the United Nations, His Excellency Stavros Lambrinis, and Ambassador Samuel Spoga, the United Nations Security Council facilitator for the implementation of Resolution 2231, for their important remarks and valuable contributions. We welcome the Secretary General's report, which reaffirms that diplomacy remains the best and indeed the only viable path for addressing concerns relating to Iran's nuclear program and regional security. We are deeply concerned by a report of Iran's decision to enrich uranium beyond research-grade thresholds in contravention of its obligations under Article 3 of the NPT. Such enrichment risks eroding confidence in the exclusively peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear activities and raises legitimate questions regarding compliance with its safeguards commitment. These concerns, we insist, must be addressed within the NPT framework and in full compliance with international law, including the Charter of the United Nations. We call on Iran to restore full transparency by reinstalling all IAEA monitoring equipment, concluding the additional protocol without delay, continuing cooperation with the IAEA, and granting the agency unhindered access to all nuclear facilities. Security Council Resolution 2231 remains the principal non-proliferation framework for Iran. Its provisions regarding nuclear-related transfers, verification measures, and the procurement channel will sunset on 18th October 2025. A failure to achieve measurable progress by that date will weaken the Council's authority, undermine the global non-proliferation architecture, and erode confidence in the NPT three pillars: non-proliferation, disarmament, and the peaceful use of nuclear energy. Sierra Leone reaffirms its unwavering support for the IAEA's verification mandate and underscores the imperative of protecting safeguarded nuclear facilities. Safeguarded nuclear installations serve exclusively peaceful purposes and must remain inviolable. International humanitarian law obliges all parties to refrain from attacks on such facilities, the destruction of which could release hazardous materials with devastating consequences for civilians and the environment. Should further strikes occur on safeguarded nuclear facilities, this Council must be prepared to act decisively in the discharge of its primary responsibility to maintain international peace and security. Madam President, Sierra Leone commends the JCPOA coordinators' continued effort to engage all participants, including the United States, in pursuit of full implementation of the plan. We welcome the 4 new notifications under Annex B of Resolution 2231, which reflect ongoing legitimate nuclear cooperation. We call on all states to safeguard the integrity of the procurement channel and to refrain from any actions that might undermine JCPOA commitment or jeopardize the diplomatic momentum vital to non-proliferation efforts. To advance Resolution 2231, strengthen the NPT, and avert further escalation, Sierra Leone proposes the following 5 points as a roadmap. First, with respect to the ongoing conflict, and which I shall return to shortly, we urge the urgent need for a comprehensive ceasefire, an immediate cessation of all reciprocal strikes, and sustained measures to de-escalate tensions and return to dialogue. We welcome the announcement of a ceasefire reportedly reached between Israel and Iran, as announced by President Donald Trump of the United States, and we urge the parties to demonstrate good faith and fully comply with this agreement. Second, full and unrestricted IAEA verification consistent with NPT safeguards, including the prompt reactivation of all monitoring equipment and comprehensive application of all additional protocol. Third, the revival of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action through sustained coordinated diplomacy involving the E3, Iran, the United States, and regional partners. Fourth, continued operation of the procurement channel and calibrated sanctions relief linked to verifiable compliance as a means of building confidence in legitimate, peaceful nuclear trade. Fifth and finally, the exploration of additional confidence-building measures, including IAEA-supervised fuel swaps and intensified regional dialogue aimed at establishing a Middle East zone free of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction. Madam President, turning briefly to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran with the involvement of the United States, Sierra Leone recalls a statement of 20 and 22nd June 2025 in which we caution that recent military escalation has gravely undermined diplomatic efforts essential to diffusing this crisis. We are equally concerned by Iran's missile strikes on 23rd June against a United States military base in Qatar. While Qatar's air defenses successfully intercepted the missiles as reported and prevented casualties, these attacks triggered regional airspace closures and heightened instability. Such actions could imperil diplomatic channels and risk drawing additional actors into a broader regional conflict. We continue to reiterate the centrality of Article 2.4 of the UN Charter and stress that no reliance on Article 51 can justify violations of this fundamental prohibition on the use of force. On this International Day of Women in Diplomacy, we join in echoing the Secretary General's call to, and I quote, "give peace a chance," end of quote, through an immediate ceasefire, de-escalation, sustained diplomacy, and the urgent resumption of negotiations. In closing, Madam President, Sierra Leone underscores the imperative of upholding the UN Charter in good faith, particularly Articles 2, 25, and 103, which enshrine the primacy of peaceful dispute resolution and the binding nature of Council's decision. In this regard, with the sunset of Resolution 2231 looming on 18th October 2025, the clock is ticking. Member States must now rise to the challenge and demonstrate the statecraft demanded by their Charter's obligation. This moment must be seized to reinforce the global non-proliferation regime, advance disarmament, facilitate peaceful nuclear cooperation, and reaffirm our collective commitment under the NPT. The alternative is simply unthinkable. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Sierra Leone for his statement, and I give the floor to the representative of Somalia.